Hi, Maclain. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Well, first off, I want to go over some logistics as far as like confidential. Well, that would be, well, you can talk to me. Everything will be confidential, but if I feel like you are going to do harm to yourself or anybody else, I will, break that confidential. And then, we'll go forward with that. Let's talk about why you're here today. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I guess I've been kind of stressed out lately because I actually, I don't know, I guess it's boy stuff, but about, I don't know, like a year ago, I broke up with this guy, and everything was really good with that, up until then we broke up, and I'm kind of scared that I'm starting to repeat the same thing over again with this new guy that I'm starting to talk to. So I guess I'm just kind of concerned about that.
Okay.
And I think honestly, I don't know, I just want to have someone there to help me through it, that way I can kind of understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, or see if that really is if I really am repeating myself or not.
Okay, so you want to understand why you're doing the same thing every time you get into a new relationship. You don't want things to continue their pattern as you get into new relationships.
Right, because I'm kind of, I don't know, I've reached the point now to where I'm talking to this guy and he's really nice and everything, but at the same time he's just, I don't know, I'm starting to see some semi-controlling tendencies, and I don't really like that in him, so.
Okay, so you're seeing a controlling side to him, and you're wondering, where exactly he's coming from, and you want to see what you can do about that, and get into the with him, a conversation with him, and see what's the problem there.
Right. Because I feel I don't know, I guess whenever we started off, everything was really good, and how every relationship starts off, and you're talking, and you're having a lot of fun, and we went on some really good dates and everything, and then slowly but surely it's gotten to where every single time we hang out he ends up getting upset over something little, and it's kind of been a little bit of a red flag, I don't know, I think that honestly he is a good guy, but I don't know, I'm not sure about him right now.
So you're wondering how you guys gonna move forward if he has all this going on. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's definitely it, because as far as moving forward, I don't know if I really want to keep moving forward if he is going to act this way, and I don't want to keep putting up with someone who for example, 2-3 weeks ago, he came into town here to Knoxville, and he's from Chattanooga. So, for example, he basically came in, and we ended up going out, and going to this bar. Well, at this bar, we ended up seeing a guy that one of my friends had dated once upon a time.
Right.
He came up, and he was like, "Hey, Maclain, how are you?" Something along those lines. And, I was pretty much "Yeah, I'm doing good,
Yeah.
All right, have a nice night."
Right.
Well, after this point, he, the guy that I'm talking to, comes up, and he's like, "Okay, so, who's that guy?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me? that wasn't even a good conversation. Like, if you're gonna get upset with me about talking to a boy, then, like, at least make it something juicy, you know?
So it sounds like this guy is, jealous, has a bunch of, insecurities within himself, which can be hard to deal with, when you're talking to somebody and you're trying to get to know them, because, it kind of makes it hard to do that, because, you're always looking at, I have all this going on.
Yeah.
It makes it kind of difficult for you guys to move forward, so.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, because, like, I guess, I don't know, I realize that he is insecure, definitely. Like, there are, like, things he says that I'm like, and it's so funny, because he's, like, truly a really nice guy, but, like, that's just where, I guess, his personality flaw comes in, just like we all have them, But he just, it's always the same thing, and I don't know, I guess it's just kind of a weird situation, having to, like, worry about that while I'm having to worry about so many other things at the same time, like, just generally, do we match up with each other, like, there's so many other concerns in a relationship, too, so, I don't know.
Well, it's pretty obvious that this guy has some problems that he should work on himself. It doesn't really seem like you're doing, anything as far as, like, pattern-wise, so.
Yeah, I guess my concern is, I don't know, there's been a lot of times, like, in the past where I do date people that are, like, just kind of controlling, and I don't know why that's something that I would ever, like, lean toward, but I guess for example, the guy that I just broke up with a year ago, like, we dated for 5 years, and it was one of those relationships that, like, everyone from my high school was like, y'all are gonna be together forever, like, whenever we first started dating, Clayton was his name, whenever we first started dating, he hadn't, like, dated anyone else in our high school. He, like, got this huge scholarship to go pitch at Alabama, like, just, like, really super sweet Christian guy, really cute, all this stuff. And then by the end of the relationship, it was, like, completely, I don't know, just a completely different person. Like, not even just looks, or not even just, like, personality-wise, but even looks. He, like, lost a ton of weight, and, like, I don't know. It was just, like, one of those things to where I saw him at the beginning and the end.
Yeah. So you were used to seeing, like, the guy that you first fell in love with, and now that you guys have grown up, got out of high school, real life, you kind of seem like, into it anymore.
Yeah, I guess so. And there was, like, a part of it to where, like, I really kept trying to work on it, but it reached a point where it was, like, just a really unhealthy relationship.
Right.
Like, I don't know, just a lot of little things here and there ended up happening. And I just reached the point one day where I, like, broke up with him, and, like, even after doing it, I was like, this isn't what I even want, but, like, I just can't handle it anymore. Because I was having, like, panic attacks, like, every day, and just, like, horrible anxiety, just because, like, I was always kind of concerned about, like, saying or doing the wrong thing, something on those lines, so.
Right, because he was such a nice guy, so we all put together.
Yeah.
Around it, okay.
Yeah, and so, I don't know, like, at the beginning, I guess, honestly, more so, he was really nice at the beginning, and then, like, just an example, and this is actually the turning point of our relationship. He actually came up here for Halloween of last year, and, or Halloween 2 years ago is when this was, and he basically came in and was like, okay, like, what are we gonna do tonight? Like, this is so much fun, and I was like, yeah, I'm excited. let's, he was like, what would you normally do? And I was like, I don't know, I guess just go out with friends or something. But I don't think that would really be like your scene, I don't know if that would be something that would be fun for you, because it just wasn't his personality type. He didn't really like being around people very much. And so I ended up, or she was like, no, that's what we're gonna do. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, we're gonna go and we're gonna like hang out with your friends and stuff. So I was like, okay, well, let's do that. But we ended up like getting to my friend's party, and it turned into just a complete mess. Like, he basically, okay, and I'm a very social person too, or at least I feel like I am. So I really enjoy just getting to be around people and getting to talk to others and know others, So like I tried to be aware of like the fact that he wasn't, but that was hard for me. So I honestly feel like, I don't know, he just ended up getting really upset with me that night at one point, to the point where he was truly, like, I walked up to him, he was standing in the corner. I kid you not, standing in the corner. Everyone else is like laughing and joking around, like middle of the room, just hanging out, and he was like standing back in the corner, and I was like, what are you doing? This is weird. Like, I don't know how to deal with this, And so I don't know, like that was just one example, of that night.
So you felt like he made it seem like he really wanted to go out and have fun, but that's not really what he wanted to do. And
Yeah.
he didn't really he wasn't expecting you to interact with everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he didn't really put the effort in at that point.
Right.
Like, it was like he told me that was what he wanted to do,
Right.
but at the same time, he still wasn't, like, willing to do that.
Right.
And, I kind of knew that, too, first place, and that's why I was like, no, let's not. Let's just stay in and, like, watch a movie or something like that. But it still ended up this way. So, and then shortly thereafter, like, I walked up to him and I was like, come on, like, completely joking. I was like, come on, Clayton, have fun. Like, let's go dance. And he just, like, looked at me and was like, no. Okay. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, okay, do you want me to just stand over here and be miserable with you? I mean, obviously that's not something that I would have said to him, but it was to that point where I was like, okay, I don't think he really, like, wants to be here, and, like, I guess I'm just gonna have to leave. And so my roommate comes up to me, and she was like, hey, we're gonna run down to the bathroom. Do you want to come with us? Typical girl move. And essentially I turned around and I go, okay, Clayton, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and then we'll go somewhere else, okay? And he literally yells at me, no. And I was like, did you just tell me I couldn't go to the bathroom? Are you joking with me right now? And so that is something that I said. I was like, don't tell me what to do. Like, I have to use the bathroom, Like, this should not be an issue. And he was like, Maclain, no. I was like, okay, I'm not dealing with this. Like, and that, I think, is honestly the first time that I, like, stood up for myself and was like, don't talk to me like that, So, I guess that was where, like, the whole relationship kind of, like, turned around.
Okay, so generally you felt like he was, he's kind of like a shy guy, but that day he seemed like, put his foot down,
Yeah.
So he don't want you to go, and at the same time, you didn't like you say, you stood up for yourself, you know. So I get, you know, they made you feel good about, you know, something, but at the same time it's kind of bad as far as like for your relationship.
Yeah.
Because you knew, you know, things would probably change from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, and I felt bad about it too because, you know, there were several times in the past where he would do little things like that, but it was just like this, that was the one point where I was like, okay, right now you were definitely doing something that I can't accept you treating me in this way. And so I ended up leaving right after I said no, like you can't tell me that I'm not going to the bathroom because that is ridiculous. And so I walked, I basically ended up walking walking down to the bathroom with my friends, and then we just walked out pretty much because not only did he yell at me, but he yelled at me in front of like everyone that I know too. Right. So it was not a good moment.
It was a big deal for you.
Yeah. And it was just like embarrassing, honestly.
Right.
And so we walk out, and he basically follows me out and he's like yelling at me and like just super upset. Like, no, you know, I'd seen bits and pieces of like he had a little bit like of a controlling nature before, right, but never to the extent that he did that night, you know. And so he ended up like coming out and was like throwing things, like just acting ridiculous. And you know, it was just so weird because like I felt like that was the first time that I like even saw him, you know. At that point I was like, I mean, has he just been pretending to be this other person this whole time? You know, it just makes you wonder.
So he probably wanted the whole entire time when he came down here for you to say, oh no, you know, let's stay in the house instead of actually going out, knowing that he would, you know, not behave the way he did, but in a sense, you know, kind of be closed off with the people, you know, not interacting, expecting you not to do the same thing. And I guess when you did that, it made him upset. And for you, that was a big deal because you've never seen that side of him, feel like he was seeming like a totally different person.
Right.
Right, which made you question everything.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess the other part of that is just him, I don't know, there's just so much involved with that whole relationship. And I guess there was like so much pressure too. Like I was saying, like all of my friends from high school were like, yeah, y'all are gonna be together forever. Like we were some sort of like, you know, Disney Channel couple kind of thing. Right. And you know, that's just how people always saw us. And I guess honestly, like there was a little bit of like, you know, I felt like I wanted that to happen, but I don't know, it's just like, it just ended up not happening.
So people saying that you guys looked together and you were like the ideal couple, made you kind of stay in a relationship farther, you know, longer than you would have normally done with anybody else.
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely true. Because, you know, especially like once you get used to something,
right,
and like we were so used to each other, and we were good for each other in a lot of ways at the very beginning, but then we were just so bad in so many other ways toward the end.
Was everybody separated and went their own ways?
Yeah, and I think that was part of it too, was like him going to Alabama and me being here. I think he just had like, I mean, like I said before, just that controlling, almost jealous factor. And it was constantly a thing of him, like, saying, oh, like, you're going to leave me, you're going to do this, like, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, you know, that's not in my mind at all. But, I mean, I guess that did end up happening, so. I don't know, I guess it's just kind of an interesting, I don't know, just just an interesting way of looking at it is to just realize that, like, you know, he was saying those things the whole time, and, like, that is kind of how it ended up going, but, like, I don't feel like it would have happened had he not kept telling me those things.
Right, pushed you that way.
Yeah.
Right. Pushed you to make that decision.
Right. Yeah, I guess, I don't know, it's just kind of a long, complicated process of us breaking up, but there's just a lot to it, I guess.
So made everything hard on you.
Yeah, it was like, and I don't think I realized how much pressure it was putting on me, because too, he came from like this perfect family, like all of them absolutely gorgeous, made perfect grades, made, you know, we're just such a great family too, and that, I mean, honestly, that was another reason, is because he, like, I just loved his family. Like, I got along with his family so well, but there were also points, like, I would go on family vacations with them and things like that. And there were points that I'd find myself having more fun, like hanging out with his sisters and his brother than I was with him. So.
Well, I must say, if you do things for, you know, the wrong reason, then, you know, you would end up, you know, things won't end well, you know, for you. If you're doing it for, you know, other people and, you know, for other things, it won't end well.
Right.
So you have to, you know, want it for yourself. Like, you guys have to want the relationship for yourself, you know that, yeah, we're meant to be, you know, this is our goals, this is what, you know, we want to do, and stick with it.
Right.
Instead of, you know, looking at, oh, you know, his family's perfect, you know, I could benefit from this.
Yeah.
You know.
And I don't know if it was ever a matter of like benefiting from it either. I think I just got so comfortable where I was that I just ended up, you know, getting kind of stagnant.
Right,
like,
sticking around.
Yeah, I just ended up sticking around because it was the easy thing to do.
Right.
But I don't know. Things just, I don't know. After we broke up though, actually what led up to us breaking up was we went on a break starting like October of that day that I was telling you about a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And then we got back together and we're like pretty good for a while, but not that much had really changed. So I don't know. I guess like I got back into it, like really I missed him and like didn't want to be without him.
Somebody you used to.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I just ended up, I guess, falling into this trap of like, okay, well now that I don't have him, like let's get back together and so on. Well, I guess, I don't know. It was just a weird situation.
So you felt like the breakup was gonna, you know, give you time to, you know, gather his thoughts, you know, what do you guys wanted to do, whether you want to move forward, you know, leave it at that.
Yeah.
But once you got back into it, it really wasn't what you wanted and what you thought it would be.
Yeah.
It was still kind of like the same.
Right. And then when we were breaking up, I like, at one point, started talking to a guy from one of my classes. And he was like really, really a nice guy. And truly like there was nothing more than like we were just talking. And like texting kind of talking, not even like talking. And once Clayton and I like, we weren't even back together, but we hung out one time. And I got a message from this guy. And he had to come apart. Like, he started talking about, oh, you're cheating on me, and I was like, we're together. Like, I don't think that's possible.
Right. I guess in a way, you know, he felt like you were on a break, but you were on a break to where you guys could start, like, seeing other people.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming that's why he was upset and said you were cheating on him.
Yeah. But I think it was just a matter of I don't know, I think we probably were on different pages with all of that, but at the same time, I actually had clarified, like, okay, like, we're gonna date other people, we're gonna do this and that, and, like, so then it ended up, like, snowballing.
Well, I don't want to stop you right here. We have 5 minutes, so if we can start to wrap it up. But you were saying how this guy you've been dating for a while, things didn't turn out the way you thought it would.
Yeah.
You started seeing like a controlling, thing going on, and you're starting to see it as you date other guys.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know, I guess all of it ended so badly, and even just, like, recently, I found out that, like, there are a lot of people from my high school that, like, over the summer, he told them that I had cheated on him and all of this stuff, and it was just so, I don't know, like, yeah, it just hurt my feelings because I, like, made such an effort to, like, be really, I don't know, I just wanted to be really careful to, like, not mislead anyone in any way, and then it still ended up like that.
Right, so you were clear about what you guys were going to do during the breakup, but
right.
In a way, he didn't take you seriously
Yeah.
when it came to, that.
Yeah.
Or maybe he wasn't ready for, you to actually start dating
Yeah, it was
somebody else,
almost like we
somebody
were
else.
living in a different reality, living in his reality versus mine.
Right.
And I don't know, so, like, actually a couple of days ago, I got this message from one of my friends, and he was like, forget Clayton, and I was like, what? And it's one of Clayton's best friends. Like, he would have, if I told my friends, like, don't take sides, that's so ridiculous and petty, but, like, if he had taken a side, he took Clayton's side.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently Clayton has blocked everyone from, like, my school year on the phone, on Facebook, everything else, and is dating this new girl now. But he told Jamie that he had blocked him because he did not hate me. And that's, like, a verbatim quote. And so, I don't know, it's just hard to believe that someone, like, I was so close with would, like, do that. And I just don't want to end up in the same situation where I, like, think that I know someone so well and then end up, I don't know, not having, end up having the same thing happen.
Right. Well, that's what you have to go through when you're dating someone, that's why you date. You get to know somebody, and then you figure out whether you guys, want to do this or not.
Yeah. And I guess that's my concern, is I just don't want it to be so dramatic and affect the rest of my life in the way that this one has.
Right.
Because I'm okay with dating someone and, like, things going wrong.
Right.
And, or we aren't good for each other, that kind of thing. But I feel like he not only, in this past relationship, like, our relationship didn't just, like, dissolve, but he, like, tried to, like, kind of pull me down with it. And it's just, I guess, hard to believe that, like, someone that you love so much would, do something like that to you.
So it seems like he kind of tried to make you seem like the bad guy. Like you said, he was going around school saying that, you had cheated on him when you made it very clear that you guys were on a break and you were going to start seeing other people.
Right.
So it seems like he was pretty hurt by it, but at the same time, he didn't, want to accept that, that's what's going to happen, between you guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the whole thing is just such a mess, and I don't know. I guess I've just honestly tried to avoid thinking about it and avoid dealing with it.
Right.
And recently, like, him showing up on my Facebook and, like, having that picture with his new girlfriend and everything just, like, brought up a bunch of emotions that I guess I didn't really realize that I had about the whole situation. Just getting so frustrated about, feeling like that's just how relationships end up, So worried, I guess.
Okay, so now you're kind of feeling like you should have thought more into it before you guys, started going, started, breaking up and, doing other stuff.
Right. I guess so.
Okay, well, we are out of time. I do thank you for coming in.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Damn.